Alright, so let's take a look at what you got going on here. The camera is not quite straight, so it's going to be tough to draw bar path lines, but I'll do my best with it. A few things I want to point out that I've noticed. Your heels kind of come off. You only hit parallel on one of your reps. You could have kept going deeper, but I think you just kind of got afraid, panicked, and went up with it. Because the reps they looked fast and easy. The weight wasn't necessarily a challenge to you physically as much as it was mentally. So let's take a look here. That one,
Keep your chest up.
you kind of just missed it. Actually, no. No, you got that. And then on the second one, I think you come down. Now, that, not quite. Again, not quite. It's tough with your thumb. Well, anyways, the crest of your hip right here has to pass below the line of your knee. And it's not quite doing that. And if you see here, watch the weight transfer from your heel to the midpoint of your foot. Now your knee is pretty far in front of your toe, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what it's doing to your squat is it is effectively stopping your hips from descending any further. So what you should be doing is, let's see, if you break. So you break with your knees first and your hips very shortly after, which is good. Now your knees are in a great position right here, almost directly over the toe. Now we just want your hips to continue to sink. But what happens is your chest falls forward a little bit. The bar pulls you forward to accommodate this whole action. Your heel rises, which makes it really difficult for your hip to continue to descend. Now, I also want to show you some of your bar path. So, oops. Nope. I'm still learning how to use this. Okay, so we're not really directly on the line there, but we're close. So as you come down, you're nicely on that line, and right there, your chest begins to fall, and the bar crosses in front of that line. And then, see how far in front it is now? And here, the bar is really over your toes when we want it more over the midpoint of your foot here. So your weight is shifting forward too much. You need to sit back a little bit more, get your hips down. So come up with it, and you see the bar path. It goes back to where it was. Again, on this one, you just straight up missed parallel because you got afraid and because of that forward weight shift. We want to keep all the tension going down through your heels. And there, your knees extend, your hips come up. That's almost right here is where we want the bar that entire time. So you hear me yell in the videos a whole bunch of times, push your elbows forward. You can see here they're pitched back a little bit. Now getting them straight down isn't going to really do much for you. But more at an angle such as this would be good. Now let's watch your elbows here. Now you start to drive them nicely. They're in line with your spine here. That's good. But we want to see that right from the beginning. So we're just going to play this thing through. So that first rep was pretty good. You just got to keep your butt sinking a little bit more.
There you go.
Elbows down would have been good here. But do you see what I mean? How the bar drifts forward as you descend into your squat? I mean, it's the first time you squatted with a narrower stance, so naturally it's going to be frightening. But you just gotta keep sitting back. So much of that weight is going onto the midpoint of your foot. We need it on the heel. You need to sit down more. Work on the flexibility of your hamstrings, like the actual length of your upper hamstrings. Kind of right that region. And you'll be fine. I would, if I was you, repeat this weight again next week. In my opinion, you haven't earned the right to move up in weight just because you didn't clear parallel on really any of those. And with such a narrow stance on your squat, you need to get far below parallel. So, some things to work on overall. There's a lot of positive stuff going on. Like at 115 pounds when you had the yellow plates on, you were fucking crushing it. Like, your knees didn't drift as far forward, and your butt was more down here, almost right up against your calves, and I could see that you were keeping the weight on your heels. So, some things to think about. You'll be just fine.